Good evening, everybody. Hyderabad debating community is here with yet another interesting debate. The topic or the motion for today's debate is going to be an interesting one. I have seen so many celebrities talking about this topic. I have seen so many posts which are being floated in social media. I have seen so many controversies, so many discussions which happened on this particular motion or the debate or the topic. But I have never seen anybody doing a constructive debate on this particular topic. I am Sainath Gupta, the moderator for today's debate. I welcome you all on behalf of Hyderabad debating community to debate number 13. The motion for today's debate is feminism is causing more harm than good. Feminism is causing more harm than good. Now I'll briefly explain you what happens in the debate, the process of the entire debate, and then we will start the proceedings of the debate. I have already announced the motion for the debate. Now, after this motion, I'll ask all the judges to vote for or against the topic. Once that voting is done, I'll save the results and then we will go for the toss. This toss, the reason for this toss is to decide which team is going to be the proponent side and which team is going to be the opponent side, and which team is going to talk first or start their debate first, and which team is going to debate second. There are two teams in this particular debate. The team A or the first team is called as the proposition team, and the second team is called as the opposition team. Proposition team is going to talk for the topic or for the motion. The opposition team is going to talk against the motion. So there are 3 rounds in this particular debate. The first round is called as the introduction round. Second round is called as the interjection round. Third round is called as the conclusion round. Introduction round is a round where the debaters will put across their views or basic definition of the motion of the debate, and in the interjection round the rebuttal happens, and in the conclusion round we will have the closing remarks. We will see how the debate flow happens. In the introduction round, we will allow 2 members from each side to speak. First team will either of the teams or the members from either of the teams will start speaking, and then the second person from the first person from the second team, second person from the first team, and second person from the second team. Once the introduction round is done, we will go for a strategic break of 5 minutes. And this break, the reason for this break is for the members or the debaters to discuss the strategy for the second round, which is the interjection round. And in the interjection round, all the debaters from both the sides will get an opportunity to speak. All the 6 members will get an opportunity to speak, whereas in the first round, only 4 members out of the 6 will get an opportunity. And after the second round, we will again go for a strategic break, but this time it is only for 3 minutes. And once the strategic break is done, we will go for the conclusion round, where one debater will give the closing remarks from each team, right? So after the entire debate happens, we will go for question and answer session, where we will allow the audience to ask questions to our debaters. So they can ask the questions and participate in this particular debate. Only 2 members or 2 audience for each team can ask questions. A maximum of 2 questions per each team will be allowed, not more than that. So people who raise their hands first will get the opportunity to ask questions. And then followed by the question and answer session, we have fact checker report, where the fact checker will give a report on all the good facts or all the basic facts that have been spoken in the debate, and all the twisted or misused facts that are there in the debate. And finally, we will go for the post debate polling, where the judges who voted in the beginning will again vote for or against the motion. And after that, we will decide which team has won the debate based on the swing of vote, based on the amount of swing that happens in this voting, right? And I'll tell you the timing guidelines for introduction round and interjection round. The time limit is 3 minutes. At the end of first minute, timer will show the green card, and at the end of second minute, timer will show the yellow card, and at the end of 3 minutes, timer will force mute that particular debater, irrespective whether the debater is speaking or not. Next, in the third round, which is the conclusion round, there is a time limit of 3.5 minutes. At the end of first minute, timer will show the green card, and at the end of second minute, timer will show the yellow card, and at the end of 3.5 minutes, timer will force mute that particular debater. So I request both the team leaders to unmute themselves. Okay. So Lasya and Karan, who wants to go for the toss?
Let Karan take the privilege of winning here at least.
Okay. So Karan will call for the toss. So I'm using Google add-on toss a coin to do the toss. The leader who wins the toss will get an opportunity to speak for or against topic or decide whether they are going for or against the topic. The leader who loses the toss will get an opportunity to decide who will go first and who will go second when it comes to the speaking order. Cool. So Karan, what is your prediction? Heads or tails?
Heads.
It is tails. So Lasya won the toss. Lasya, can you please decide whether you are going for the motion or against the motion?
I'd like to go against the motion.
You are going to go against the motion. Perfect. So Karan,
We'll go first.
you'll go first. Perfect.
A woman is a full of circle. Within her is a power to create, nurture, and transform. But if one wants the girl to be provided with education, having reproductive rights, equal pay for equal work, ending sexual violence, in a nutshell, fundamental gender equality, then yes, my friend, you are a feminist. The first wave of feminism is responsible for women considered people instead of objects that can be owned by a man, which is very important, and I'm thankful for the brave women who fought for that right. The second wave of feminism talks about the equality of women to each other. For example, black women having equal rights to white women and females being granted the right to vote. There is a lot of feminists to be proud of. But the sad part is half of them are not even aware of the word what feminism is. Along the way, they have blurred the difference between the equality and superiority. This attitude of few is affecting the tolls of many who have been working hard to make the world understand how significant the issue is. Modern day feminism is stuck in an anachronistic belief that women continue to be an oppressed class. To feel worthy and pass their flaws onto the society, they find problems however petty and insignificant, and then offer themselves the solution. A never ending cycle that ensures the survival of a form of activism and has outlived its usefulness of the very own feminism. Feminism, my dear friends, means equality of rights between sexes. Special treatments are indeed provided whether the gender is facing colossal inequality, but that does not make the special treatment a right for others. One needs to understand the special treatment given to be the sexes on par and not make the other one superior. This misinterpretation has already made many men shun the concept of feminism, and if it continues, it will become the reason for the fatality of the said cause. But now, the feminism is ultimately harming more than it is helping. Unfortunately, modern day feminism has completely tarnished the reputation of the movement, and that used to stand for equal rights, but now exists as a sexist, hypocritical outlet for insecure women to find a target to blame and their problems on. Over to you, moderator.
Feminism is doing more harm than good, be it social media, political debates, or the current debate. It is getting trolled and ridiculed by the people. Little did they know what feminism actually stands for. Feminism is a set of movements aimed at defining, establishing, and defending equal political, economic, and social right. It is the pursuit of women's right within the society of India. Feminist seeks gender equality. the right to work for equal wages, the right to equal access to health, education, equal political rights. Basically, feminism is about empowering women to attain equal opportunities. Let me quote a French philosopher, Simone Deby. She said, "One is not born woman, but becomes one." We are born with different genitals, but it is the society which puts a man woman tag. And this different genitals should not become the basis of different social status. Just because I have different genital, I should not be paid more, or the other guy who is capable of doing same job, who is putting same effort, should not be paid less. The point I want to make here is everyone should be treated equally in the society. My mother taught me how to cook. She also taught me how to be brave. These two things, now I stay here alone. I cook food for me, I go office, come home. Everything is properly aligned. However, if you go in a proper society, you see that men are taught to be brave, to be strong, but not taught how to cook food. At the same time, women are told to be at home. They should be home before 7 p.m. They cannot go out. So I believe this differences which we have, it is the feminism which is going to bridge it back.
While my learned teammate has explained about the phases of feminism and how its interpretation has been changed from time since, I would like to point out at the problems which feminism is portraying right now. That is the disadvantages it's bringing to the society. That is one of which is it's giving excessive advantages to women, which clearly discriminates men. So that when you're talking about equality, you are actually portraying them in a degrading way. You're degrading men just like what women believe that they have been doing. So when you believe that a man is degrading you, and by looking for feminism and your rights, your equality, you're actually degrading men at the same time. You're not fighting for equality. You're actually looking for superiority by showing that you are the inferior person. So feminism applies only to a certain extent, but you can't go beyond it because there are a few facts which we have to accept by ourselves. So women often see themselves as the better gender and want to be separated themselves from the rest of the society. If you notice that they want everything in separate, which is not possible even personally or professionally. At the same time, the craving for the feminism, the concept feminism has initially had a different agenda, but now it's craving for discrimination between men and women, which actually shows that men are dominant and saying women are inferior to them, and also segregates the same way, looking for equality. That is not the case. And at the same time, feminism leads to undermining of traditional values and power of a woman, which is her ideal way. If you notice that feminism is not a new concept, we did have equal rights right from the ages, that the ages of the kings, where women were equally treated. They were taken to wars. They were given more responsibilities than women. It is because of the fact that they are able to do better, but not less than what they're supposed to do. So that has to be taken into consideration. And there are also a few negative effects which can affect the women's personal life. By demanding equal rights in every sector can lead to chaos and misunderstandings in relationships as well, which also should be taken into consideration. I would like to emphasize on few trending cases like the Sarjit and Jasleen, which happened in Delhi recently. End of the day, you have noticed the tarnished reputation of the man by just anguish of the woman there. So this is clear abuse of feminism. This is not the kind of feminism we are looking at. We don't want to do it more harm. And also there are so many other incidents where women have taken decisions to actually portray themselves inferior and tarnish the reputation of men. And later, when dug out and investigated, the man is at no fault. So here it clearly shows at no cost.
Male hating, men bashing, and female superiority. These are the words considered as the synonyms for the feminism. Well, my dear friend, this suggests that how immature we are and how we misunderstood the concept. My dear friends, feminism actually is the advocacy of women's rights on the grounds of equality of the sexes. It means that there should be equality of the sexes economically, socially, and politically and personally as well. Misunderstanding this concept had evidently caused both men and women to hate it and steer feminism away from it. Fighting for equal rights and empowering women is not a new concept for us. And ironically, my dear friends, it is not the women who started the feminism movement in India. Unlike the Western feminist movement, India's feminist movement was initiated by men and later joined by women. This was due to patriarchal mindset prevailing in the society. For example, social reformers such as Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Ishwar Chand Vidyasagar, Mulberry rose against women's issues like sati, child marriage, disfiguring of widow, women education, and widow marriage. Much of the early reforms for India, for Indian women, were conducted by men. So, my dear friends, for example, through the foundation of the Self-Employed Women's Association, SEVA, the right to equal opportunities in case of employment was guaranteed. And it was later quoted in the Article 16 as well. Likewise, Prohibition of Dowry Act to curb domestic violence was introduced in 1961. Commission of Sati Prevention Act, we all understood how ruthless the commission was, and it was finally prevented in the year 1987. Sexual harassment at women at workplace was Prevented and Protection Act was introduced in the year 2013. Likewise, there are many laws and acts and organizations who fought and won in providing equal rights and empowering women. So, my dear friends, it was fortunate that at least a couple of my opposition teammates understood the meaning of feminism, but unfortunately, they misunderstood the concept, which they need to revisit again. So, my dear friends, I strongly believe that feminism is definitely not causing more harm, rather, it is uplifting women's place in our society. Over to you, moderator.
As I've already told you, half of the population are not aware of the meaning of like feminism, and I see two of them right in the debate. Let me talk to you about how this feminism movement has made mistakes. Endorsing the sexual revolution, disintegrating the family life, insisting that there are no differences between men and women, and now let me tell you why feminism is doing more harm than good. It creates a mindset that women are playing the victim card, becoming oversensitive to anything and everything that could possibly be twisted and be offensive. Creating the natural impulses of women are the result of brainwashing from patriarchy. And it says women are weak. Women may have few obstacles that men don't, but feminism actually insults women by acting like they are not able to overcome these obstacles. And it encourages women to be sensitive, thin-skinned, instead of being tough and going after their goals. Women don't need feminism, my dear friends. They are strong enough to succeed on their own. We have women heading up in corporates, pioneering scientific discoveries, and this past election, women came incredibly close to being elected the next president of the United States. The other extreme cases includes, one of my friends have said that how there's like the physical bodies are being an advantage between the men and the women. And let me tell you, my dear friend, there have been cases where how this feminism has actually triggering people to go and fight for illogical cases. And there was one such case in years which has happened where the females have been protesting against air conditioning companies that they designed the ACs for the bodies and temperature and the metabolism for men, but not women. It's the same woman that complained that how AC units are designed for men. You see, my dear friend, that feminism has been taking a backseat, and how these people are driving crazy about fighting over the illogical things, leaving behind the main things. And that things comprises, empowering the women, and talks about why women are not being active in like political issues, why women are not being educated, why women are not taking part actively in the corporate roles. And for me, it all seems ridiculous when these feminists who claim themselves or who advocate themselves fighting for these illogical things. And to conclude my statement, well, They also claim that they're adding the word to. And I feel that these are the people who actually weak, but not strong. Over to you, moderator.
Like I was said, it was so fortunate that the proposition team understood the meaning of feminism, but it was so confusing that they were saying we are using the misusing the concept of feminism. Well, my dear friends, who are misusing the concept? Is it you are? It is just like any other individual. You are misusing. I just like any other individual. It is the individual that is misusing the concept, but not just because someone is misusing the concept, you need not to, or you should not blame the entire concept of feminism. So that is, you need to correct your reasoning, my dear friends. So when you are saying women don't need, so one of the honorable proposition mentioned that empowering women is actually degrading men. Do you even mind what you are saying? That is something that I want to clear about, because empowering women actually uplifting men, but also women. For example, we have a great leaders in our country, for example, like Indira Nooyi, Indira Gandhi, Arundhati Bhattacharya. Just because of these women leadership, we have so many benefits, and so many women and men as well as men were empowered. So that is the one example that I can give you. And one of the honorable proposition mentioned that women don't actually need any kind of illogical things. Let me give you one small example. In the year 1979, the Indian Foreign Service, CB Muthamma, she had been denied from promotion just because she got married. It seems there was a rule in the Indian constitution that if you are getting married and you cannot perform the UPSC duties as meticulously as you are not. Is it even considerable, my dear friend? So if you have rules such thing, rules likewise, definitely you need a kind of concept or a kind of movement. Definitely that will help women to empower from their respective places. That is a if you so that is why we need feminism. So also there is something that I noted. So from last couple of minutes, I proposition mentioned only the perspectives of them, but they hardly mention any facts or the kind of example that they have been figuring out. So I request you to please correct your facts and please show some examples. If you simply say feminism doing harmful, throw some example. Even the whatever you are saying, the kind of incidents that we have. I'll let you know. I will give you one more example why feminism is needed even in the 21st century. In the year 2019, in a Gurugram forum mall, a group of girls were harassed by a lady just because they were wearing a small dresses. She claimed that they deserve to be raped just because they wear small dresses. Is it the country that we are living, my dear friend? So if you have this kind of perception, this kind of thought process in the current scenario, you definitely need a feminism concept. You definitely people who can definitely help you lift and empower things, you make things clear. So if you just because you are living in a fancy world, you don't need anything. Just because you have so many girls who are studying well, progressing life, they're going to other countries for abroad and
Let me start with an argument that was presented by the opposition team. They said that most of the people are immature to understand the concept of feminism. Let me take the word immature and quantify it a little bit. So, if you look at the facts, 27% of the women, and including male, it goes to a higher number. Most of them who call themselves feminists are are in the age group of 18 to 29, and the number decreases when you increase the age group, right? So if you take age as one of the criteria to understand the concept of maturity, then don't you think the youth and youngsters are more into feminism? Isn't it something that they call fancy stuff and get into? That's one point that I would like to bring here. And the second point I have is sexual harassment against women act, the dowry act. Opposition team said that there are some acts that have been in place that have been introduced by the governments of the nations to empower women, right? Let me tell you, just in Delhi, out of 1 lakh of the cases every year, most of them are related to dowry. When you have a lot of things in place already, then why are there so many cases against the same thing? Don't you think feminism is failing here? And I think if you want quantification, it's available. We have facts. I think the facts are clear here. And one more point that the opposition team has said is women empowerment versus feminism. I don't understand why women empowerment is synonymous to feminism. Women empowerment is when you uplift women and give them opportunities to do greater things, when you encourage them to go into sports and other jobs that they want to. Women empowerment is not giving them power to slap a Zomato delivery guy who has come to your house to deliver your food. Women empowerment is not about you slapping a cab driver out of for no fault of his. Please don't get confused between women empowerment and feminism. Both of them are different concepts. So with that, I would like my other team members to enlighten the opposition team on what feminism is, and I would like to hand over it to the moderator. Thank you.
Women have played a pivotal role in helping the growth of Indian economy. It is estimated that women contribute approximately 17 to 18% of the GDP. Although they're strong in farming and dairy industry, you can find almost 80% women in nursing. Also, these women are present in garment works, handicraft, and they are doing everything to help the nation. How it has happened? It's just because the way feminism has empowered everything and uplifted them to come into mainstream media. One of my proposition team member was saying, if you uplift women's, it will degrade men's. No, it's not like that. I'll tell you one thing. It is very much strange, how you perceive gender equality as an uplifting ladies and women's are only getting uplifted, other guys getting down. No, it's not like that. It gave our economy a huge, long-lasting boost. This economy is built of men and women both. It gave men more reproductive control through abortion legalization. It gave men some well-deserved time off from work. It enabled men to spend more time with their children. Also, it ensured that burden of family finances doesn't lie only on the male shoulders. Also, it kept prisons safer for male inmates. It built a more inclusive world. One feminist celebrity at a time, Beyonce supported LGBTQ community and gay men particularly. So feminism is something which is trying to be very much inclusive and speaking out for everyone, for entire humanity. It's not just men versus women. AIIMS nursing, women nursing profession is mostly done by women, and it is little something which is 100% done by women. But garment work and handicraft, which I said, it is still informal sector. If you consider that part, I don't know where we are going to go. The GDP is going to boom. Research done by McKinsey, it says that if equal opportunities given to women there will be additional 27% in the GDP, and by 2025 it will be $2.9 trillion. So do you see the benefits which will come out of feminism? I don't believe that feminism is adding harm than good. It is only good which is coming out of it. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you. Well, I would like to quote one of my opposition team who mentioned that he's still alone home cooking. My dear friend, there are many other women outside still cooking alone and staying away from families and still don't have a restriction of going home by 7 p.m. because even we want to be treated equally and even we have the right to be. But that does not mean that you're sacrificing something for the sake of equality. And also, one of my another team mentioned about famous influences in the patriarchal society. My teammate, I'm not able to quote the names, but I remember those were from the British era. If you notice that those were led by men, Indian men, because of the misuse of women rights, which was bought by the British era, but not the Indian culture. If you notice that the Indian culture has always given equal rights to women. And at the same time, when you're quoting Article 16, my dear friend, Article 14 talks about equal protection of laws and equal treatment of all gender, all people irrespective of gender. My dear friend, Article 16, Dowry Prohibition Act, DV Act, the sexual harassment, what are you talking? Were all women centric, and there is no law protecting men, my dear friend. And also 75% of the rape cases filed are false. We do have facts for it. We can produce the same stats for them. NCB, the National Crime Bureau, has submitted that 2 lakh people were arrested in the case of dowry offenses. But trust me, my friend, 14.4% were convicted, only just 14.4, and 86.6 are innocent and have been sent acquittal. And a recent survey conducted by St. Xavier's College students said that 58.95, which is more than half, 58.95% of the men were threatened by laws for protecting women. Trust me, my friend, people have been misusing. Let me take this opportunity to quote Martin Luther King. Am I audible? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me take this opportunity to quote Martin Luther King, who said that one person can affect all of them indirectly. So at the same time, one person inspires you. At the same time, one misunderstanding also inspires and affects so many people at the end. And 98% of the dowry cases are false. And just to, we do have many cases where lives of doctors, engineers, IPS officers, UPSC professionals, civils, everybody was were threatened, and also their lives were spoiled by just 1 or 2 women-centric cases against them. Trust me, my friend, they were not serious crimes. They were not heinous crimes like murder or kidnap or abduction, whatever. They were just family cases. They were dowry cases. The husband, the family, all of them are sent to prison. All of them are
Well. How beautifully distorted facts presented my shoddy research job done by those people. Can I say that? Well, let me take an opportunity to say that. Oh my God, you told that cab driver was hit and feminism came into act? Do you realize that feminism is about empowering women and not defending stupidity done by the women? We are here to uplift women. Uplifting women has done so much beauty to the society. Feminism is about providing equality, but not defending the stupidity done by the women. Now, I think this is clear enough for my team proposition to understand the fact that this is the definition. And one of them was quoting that women being empowered will jeopardize the relationship. Are you even making a point? If a man is intimidated by a woman being empowered, then he is a man that I never want in my life. Trust me. People were talking about women being empowered is going to create discrimination. And one of the propositions said that women feel insecure. That is why they want someone to blame. They put this tag of feminism. Are you even making sense, my dear friend? You know, we are the weaker section of the society. We were not in this race of equality for 45 years. We joined this race very recently. That is why we have reservation today to take part along with you equally. And men quoting that women feeling insecure, ladies and gentlemen, understand where are we living in this open debate. Someone said women feels insecure about herself. Feminism is failing. Do you understand? Feminism is about uplifting. It is not about thrashing people. Feminism is not failing. It is all about empowering. And one last thing that I would like to quote: the traditional ways involved women into it. Rigveda contained things that were written by women, and you are talking about women not being a part of this game since the beginning. Just to save those Rajput women, this sati system or jumping into fire was brought into picture. This was not our game. We were forced by foolish men to jump into fire. Now we do not want to do that. We want to take a stand. We want equal stake in everything that is happening. When I say equal stake, it literally means equal stake. We want to be empowered as much as you are. What if I said your mom, your sister, your cousin, or your female friend is not going to get the opportunity that you have because she is a female? Would you even digest that?
I hear a lot of arguments that it has been a race between men and women that feminism is trying to overcome. Let me tell you, even in the ancient times, men were not in race with the women that you're talking about, right? And also there was an argument which says women were never given a higher position, and women were never given a chance to rule a kingdom or be in a higher position. Let me tell you, let me ask you, did you ever heard of the name Razia Sultan, who has ruled the entire Delhi Sultanate back in the 11th century? Don't you think when there were not much protests going against women, there was still I mean, there were not many protests against men, but there were still rulers who ruled the entire sultanate back in the 11th century. So men were never in the race with women that you're talking about. And let me give you a scenario first. If I fire a couple of employees from my own organization, and let's say a majority of them are women, what will be the narrative that will make the headline? The narrative is feminists will come ahead and say the management has fired a lot of women from the team, and will not try to at least understand the reason why they were fired. They'll just say women were fired from this company and the company is misogynistic. They'll just pass such statements. Don't you think feminism here is causing more harm than good? I'll give you another scenario. Human beings would always want to be a part of a group which stands for some moral principles. But over the period of time, once the group advances, they would try to drag the non-believers of their principles into their own group. Likewise, there are a lot of people in these current times who are brainwashed to believe that they are feminists. That is the reason why survey says that many of them are feminists. Past feminism changed the society forever. Today, feminists believe that men are less superior and that women could live on the earth without them. But that is not the what true feminism is. True feminism allows men to be equal with women to be equal with men. True feminist means it is possible for women to work the same job as men do and own property like them. Although the basis of feminist is still the same, it has become more aggressive movement. Instead of bringing men and women together, it has created a lot of gaps there. There are still other problems that feminism could fix, but if you use the feminism the way it is being used right now, you will all be bunch of aggressive people causing protest in front of buildings. So with that, I would like to close by saying feminism will continue to do more harm than good. Back to the moderator.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this very word coined by Swami Vivekananda shows how men didn't like women. Ladies and gentlemen, my goodness, don't you acknowledge that we are smart ladies? You are objectifying us as beautiful ladies. This has been the society in the past. People were talking about cab incident, Zomato incident. You should question the law. Everyone is equal before the law. What was law doing? It was not the feminist. Let's agree women are foolish. There were male feminists as well. Let's assume all of us are foolish. Why didn't you question the law when law says everyone is equal before the law? Let me quote few incidents. One of the proposition team members said there was an acid attack and etc. etc. According to section 326A, 326B, Indian Penal Code 1860, Amendment 2013, anyone who falls as a victim for acid attack will be pressed charges against this code. According to section 375B, 375C, Code of Criminal Procedure 1973, everyone is equal before the law. If the Zomato incident, cab incident did not consider these, then please question the law, not feminism. Feminism is about empowering women, not advocating the stupidity brought by women. Encourage women to do good things. This is not feminism. Your definitions are wrong. Your understanding is wrong. I know 1 hour is not sufficient to teach 27, 28-year-old gentlemen who already have a prejudiced notion. I don't think we can do this, but please learn the proper definition of this. Now, talking to someone who said about Razia Sultana, ladies and gentlemen, this is a clear evidence that they were not listening to the argument. There were rulers. Do you know about Jhansi Lakshmi Bai or Rudrama Devi? They are women leaders. They brought good things into the society. Empowering women is feminism. And feminism is doing great things, not harming the society. Before I say something, running an NGO, founder of an NGO for last half a decade, I have empowered 215 women. Out of them, 112 people are earning their livelihood. We stood up for women, and this is called feminism. Feminism is not about supporting stupidity. My question to all the people seeing here, what if I said, including you, Madam Proponent, if you were not given promotion because you are a woman, if your mom was stopped going to office because she was a woman, or your sister is not given equal wage because she is a woman while she's skilled as much as others in the society, would you accept this? Feminism is about uplifting women socially, politically, economically, but not defending the act of women. Everyone is equal before the law. If law is not punishing women, question the law, not the women. For one last time, women are a beautiful creation of the God, and we are not insecure about anything. To the gentleman who said this, of course, we are not in the game of giving validations. We know who we are. Moderator.
Okay, so we have a session called as the question and answer section where the audience can ask questions to the debaters. So if you want to ask a question to either of the sides, you have to raise your hand. People who raises their hands first will get an opportunity. Cool. We have got 4 members who raise their hands. So out of these 4, I'll allow 2 people to ask questions to proposition team, 2 people to ask questions to opposition team. That's it. Okay. So I can see Ajit sir raising his hand first. Ajit sir, you can unmute yourself and tell to which team you are going to pose your question.
I will be posing question to the opponent team. Okay, I'd like to ask the opponent team, as a feminist, okay, do you support quota for women?
That's indeed a thoughtful and thought-provoking question, Mr. Rajat. Yes, I do. Not forever. There is a point that we are supposed to stop this. Until women get their rights, women are equal to men, or we get enough of what we want. Till then, there should be reservation. After that, it can be lifted.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Lasa, and thank you, Ajit. We'll go to the next person. We have Ramakant raising his hand. Yes, to which team you are going to ask the question?
I'll go to the team B, the opponent team.
Okay, you are also going for the opposition team. Okay.
So much love.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, I have 2 parts in my one question. Okay, someone said feminism is all about empowering, and someone talk about very thought-provoking and very research material says the law and everything. I have a small question. If there's a law and why this law about the feminism having an amendments. What is this so-called feminist activists or activity people are doing when the law is first time introduced? Let me speak about the law 498A. When a woman goes to a police station and states that I have been, it's a domestic violence, the law does not even really think or listen to a man, and they'll strictly arrest them and they'll put it under the bars, and you have no choice of coming out of it. That was back in 2010. But that 2016, the law has been changed because so much of women utilizing this power, misutilizing this power, and they were doing a lot of harm to the society, especially to the most of the innocent men. There's no empowerment because law wanted to do an
I
empowerment.
think you're
and guys are
advocating
happy
the
with
other
that.
side. Can you please pose your question and not explain us? Thank you.
Okay, fine. So when there's a law imposed, the first place, why this amendment comes into picture? Because you said there was an amendment in the law. First question that. Second thing, you said, just to answer to Ajit sir question, we need an equality. Until that you need a reservation, but this reservation is from the long time. How long you need it?
Thank you. Firstly, talking about how long I need reservation, until and unless I see 50% women in the office and 50% men in the office enjoying equal rights and allowing us to go out of the house even at 11 p.m. I want reservation until then. With that being said, talking about the amendments, I understand because of women misutilizing laws, there has been a lot of atrocity. There has been a lot of impact. When we are talking about empowering women, that means we are trying to empower women in a right way, not in a wrong way. And that is not what we are advocating. We want men to have their rights. If you notice, feminism was not just benefited for women or by women. It was also benefited by men. We are in a process of transforming. The whole debate is about if it is creating more harm or less harm. We are telling it is not creating more harm, but it is certainly creating a good thing. We are in a process of evolution and things take time. We have to curtail all these atrocities happening. And I am not advocating something wrong happening to men. I care for men as much as I care for women.
Yes.
Yeah.
From the proposition team, one of the debaters had a point that women are capable of going ahead on their own, and with that point there was an example of a female leader almost becoming the president of the United States. So my question to the debate to proposition team is that do you think that would have been possible without the support and without the rules changing of women being allowed in the political system itself?
Okay.
Basically, without feminism.
Yeah, I would like to answer this, Sainath.
Please go ahead.
Yes, like first of all, a very thoughtful question on that. Well, the motion itself says that feminism is causing more harm than good. Yeah, it has been started on a right front, like uplifting the women and giving the space for them to develop and like prosper in their careers, and that has been happened over the period of years. And like what I quoted in my debate discussion was also the same, right, in the first phase 1 and phase 2 of feminism. But in order to highlight the fact what I'm trying to say over here, why it is causing more harm than good, like you might have come across the things how these upliftment of women is reaching the bar to a nonsensical thing. And to justify that fact, like I don't know what happiness women get when quoting that the Myntra logo looks like a naked woman. So if this is called, if like this is what you call an upliftment, then I'm sure that this is not a real upliftment. And to give another fact, like to justify what you have just said, yes, there were amendments, there were laws which have been like uplifting women, but not in this modern feminism, which has been trying to highlight, or maybe which has been trying to divert people in some nonsensical things. And I would appreciate the feminists who are right in this debate would fight for a right causes like just what you have questioned. Over to you, moderator.
Thank you, Karan, and thank you, Chandrakala, for asking the question. Okay, so we have final question from Sharon. Yeah, Sharon, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. The proposition team.
Thank you, Sainath.
Yes.
It's a different device, no worry. Thank you. My question is to the proponent team. One of the proponent team members mentioned about a wrong narrative being built against women, when they're in association with their organization. And that is feminism causing harm. I want to understand, how do you then explain, when there is a rape incident that is probably reported, the narrative is always 5 women were raped instead of saying 5 men raped, something like that. It's always a shadows on the women. So if this is wrong journalism, then the other one should be wrong journalism. So how do you explain that? How do you explain feminism in that regard?
Okay, not to divert from it, what are you talking mostly about? Reporting a feminist incident or reporting a rape incident or something like that lies on the journalists and not on feminists and non-feminists. My dear friend, it's all about reporting, and media trial is one thing which got us into so much confusion. If you look at the Zomato or Myntra and many other cases which are not highlighted, it's the media trial which portrays and which actually misunderstands the whole concept. That is what we are looking at. So one mistake is taken as an inspiration by a hell lot of people. That is what we're trying to do. So when you mention that 5 men and 5 women, that is not what happens with, that headlines is what burns the feminists. That headline enlightens the feminists and that leads to protest. But there is no looking at facts. Just like how already mentioned about Civil Procedure Code, Indian Penal Code and Criminal Procedure Code, my dear friend, one is a procedure and one is an act. You cannot correlate. Both of them are 2 different aspects, where one you talk about it and one you do it. So you cannot go hand in hand with it. So sometimes the act, the procedure, and the media trial are 3 parallel things. They never meet. They cannot intersect, but it's people, they're trying to conjoin them, connect the dots, and get into misunderstandings. That is what we have to be clear about.
Thank you, Rajeshwari. Thank you all the participants who have participated in this question and answer session. Ajit, Ramakant, Chandrakala, and Sharon, thank you so much. And also thank you to the debaters for patiently answering the questions.
Thank you so much, Moderator Sainath. Good evening,
Yes.
everybody. Interesting, hot debate. I have very few things in my report because most of the proponents or opponents focused on ideologies rather than facts. It's in the last 2 rounds they come up with facts. So I'll present the facts which are correct and then the facts which are distorted or presented in an incorrect way. Okay. So few facts which were correctly mentioned is the Sajli and Jaslyn Kaur case. Yes, on 2015, 23rd August, the case was filed against Jaslyn Kaur and Supreme Court has dismissed the case on 24th of October 2019. And it is a case which no women should file against a man. That is something which we all can learn as well. And second mentioned fact is 2019 Gurgaon case or incident where group of girls, a middle-aged woman named Shivani Gupta has asked 7 men to rape 7 girls. And the video is recorded. It's a 9-minute video. She was asked an apology, but she didn't apologize as well, even after insisting. And some facts which were not correct or partially incorrect were, one of the proponents said, in Western feminist movement was started by women, whereas Indian feminist movement was started by men. No, Indian feminist movement is also started by women. Savitri Bai Phule, 1848, first school for girls. She started first school for girls and also received help from Tarabai Shinde. She wrote first feminist text in 1882 called as Stri Purush Tulana, comparison or differences between men and women. So that is one thing. And second thing, with respect to percentage of false rape cases against women. That is correct. 74%. It is mentioned as 75, but it's okay. It's 74%. However, there was 8.3% dip in crimes against women, which was not correctly mentioned by one of our proponents. There was no increase in crime rate against women, maybe because of lockdown, but there was a dip in 8.3%. And one of the proponent told CB Muttamma was not given promotion. Now, this is a half twisted fact. CB Muttamma was from Karnataka. She is the first woman to clear ICS, IFS, and also first Minister of External Affairs person. But she was asked to sign an agreement that she has to inform the government when she is about to get married. Now, the case which Muttama filed was not against ICS or IFS. She was denied a member or promotion in Minister of External Affairs. And that is completely different. Now, they have not given her promotion on basis on merit. Now, she filed a case in Supreme Court and Supreme Court has dismissed her case. But Supreme Court has also revised the rule that no female government employee has to inform the government prior before her marriage. Now that there is an amendment, but promotion was declined, not basis on her marriage or any other thing. She has also written a book, Slain by the System, 2003. You can download it and go through it. Very interesting book. Good reviews as well. Now coming to air conditions, bodies were sexiest or, not, some women complained. I don't find a basis on this. There was a tweet by some women, but I didn't find any accurate fact with respect to that. Now, few other facts. Yeah, few other facts. This is my favorite one. Few women were part of Rig Veda. Rig Veda was written by Veda Vyasa, who is also author of Mahabharata. He, and just like district administration in Toastmasters, he has also 4 assistants. Rig Veda Vyasa has 4 assistants, all 4 are men. Paila, Jamini, Vaishwampava, Sumanda, all 4 are men, and they were given the authority to entrust the 4 Vedas, Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharvaveda respectively. So there were no changes or additions by any women. There are mentions of women rishis. 32 female women rishis were mentioned in the Vedas, but no women rishi has authored any Rig Veda text. Now Razia Sultana was of only women Muslim ruler, and in fact the first women Muslim ruler. But the story doesn't suggest feminism there. What happens is her father has 7 sons. First son died early, and the 6 sons were sexually interested people. So her father believed that they do not do justice for the throne. So he has asked Razia Sultana to take care of the throne. But Razia Sultana's younger brother and her mother tried to kill her. She raised a rebellion, and then she tried to kill them. But she was not in the throne for more number of years, only 1 year. Okay, after that again she was overtook by Firoz Shah Turkan, the next ruler of Delhi Sultanate. Now, last but not least, I hope I'm not taking more time. Ladies and gentlemen, this was not coined by Swami Vivekananda. Swami Vivekananda famous quote was Sisters and Brothers of America, and ladies and gentlemen was an updated version of gentlemen and gentlewomen. Gentlemen and gentlewomen was coined in 1586, 1591, which means again racism there. They only try to address women and men of higher society in events or social parties. It was in use till 1591, and the second usage and most prominent usage was in France in an vaudeville era, that is an entertainment and theater era, where ladies and gentlemen became prominent, and we continue using that. And yeah, that's it from my end. And one more thing, anybody can address or share me details. 490 498A, there was no change in 498A section. It remains the same. And of course, it is against men. Even Supreme Court has expressed its concerns over the misuse of 498A. It is also, there is also article called as legal terrorism. So there was no changes to this act. However, Supreme Court has changed its decision or judgment, but the law was not changed or amended. I did not find any material stating the change of the law. So if someone can provide, it would be great. So thank you so much.
Now I request all the judges to vote again for the post-debate poll. You can use the same link and vote. So this is the polling which happened before the start of the debate. We had 4 responses and 50-50 was the voting. And after the debate, we again considered the same set of judges who have voted. So it is 75 and 25 now. So that means team proposition has won the debate. Congratulations to all the members of team proposition. Have done a great job. Indeed, it was a very close call, I should say. But overall, congratulations. And I would like to thank some of the people who worked so hard behind the screens and who made this debate possible. I'd like to thank timer Banu Pradeep for being so patient enough and helping us with the timer cards. Thank you so much, Pradeep. And we have the Zoom master Vasu. Thank you so much, Vasu, for keeping people on spotlight and creating all the breakout areas on time. Thank you so much for being so seamless and helping us conduct a seamless debate. And thank you so much, KK, for that wonderful fact checker report. You made it really interesting. Thank you so much. And I would like to thank all the judges who participated in this debate and contributed to this debate in the form of voting. Thank you so much. And finally, I would like to thank all the debaters who participated. So I have this basic question. If any one of you is able to participate in the discussion, so do we really need a debating club? Anybody?
Of course, we need a debating club. Why is that even a question? Indians are argumentative. Without shastras and ancient times, that's how the Indian. Most of us, we have learned everything by questioning. It is the inherent nature of the question.
Okay. So the reason why I asked this particular question is that right from my childhood, even when I was in my school and when I was in my college, or I participated in so many debates, but people have this misconception that people try to be formal in the debate, but they have some, something which they don't say in the debate. That they have some opinions which they actually don't tell in the debate just to look good in front of others. Is it really true?
In this kind of format where you're giving them a choice, they are not speaking of their heart. You're giving them option to speak for or against. So here is this what you're saying is what will happen. But if you allow them to go into their own teams and take their heart out, in that case, I think they will speak what they want they feel like. Except in this current format, what you are saying will apply because you got to defend the topic that you got. You are in your team, right?
Just to add on to what Sir has mentioned, I think this is a very proctored conversation. We are deciding, we know the topic ahead of the times. Earlier, where debating sessions used to happen, it was more impromptu. The topic was given, and of course, if you had a strong demarcation of choosing and what you believe in, I think that is when people can really open up and share. But this is also good as we are we get to face a lot of incidents day in and day out. So it's more of a validation of what you encounter and what you believe in. So it's more of perspectives here rather than what you strongly believe in.
Thank you so much. This is my first debate and like my first interaction with the Hyderabad debating community. Like I think the last time I was in a debate was way back in my school, and after that unfortunately or fortunately I'm an advocate, so I am done debating. All I have to do is advocacy. So this is really nice. Like this is what I was expecting in law, but turned out to be something else and different. So it's nice having the same debates and all that, which pitched me into my profession, and now trying to embrace it. I think I'll do more of it because I like how it is conducted. Thank you so much.